Okay, hi Cancer friends. I hope you're doing well. My name is Leah and I'm an intuitive life coach at Soul Revitalization Healing. And this is an intuitive reading for the month of September leading into the equinox for the sun sign Cancer, sun, moon, or rising. So this is a general reading, so take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started then. So guys, the first thing I picked up whenever I meditated on your energy was a lot of feelings of insecurity. I'm just feeling like your life is a mess. That's what I kept hearing. My life is a mess. I kept hearing, I hate my body. I hate the way I look. I have nothing left was one of the things that I heard. Almost like I've lost everything. I've made so many mistakes. I also got a lot of like stripping of illusions is happening right now. So whenever I kind of like delved a little bit deeper, it seems like there's a lot of facades are being torn down. And I think that there's a lot of stuff that you guys have been holding on to that kind of made you feel safe in a lot of ways, but they weren't really true to you. So this month and going into September, one of the best ways to navigate this is to really focus on finding that stillness within, and trying to understand what's going on with you and seeing that what's going on is you've kind of been living in the darkness for a long time. There's been a lot of stuff that I feel you guys have been running from that's in yourself, and a lot of things that you might be struggling with whenever it comes to other people. There's some stuff that you might be struggling with whenever it comes to like tearing down some walls that don't serve you anymore. One of the things I picked up was I got this Facade card, and that usually is something that means like in childhood there were a lot of wounds that kept you from being your true self. So it's really not safe for you in the way that you feel that to be your true self with other people. So a lot of what's going on right now is you've kind of been in the darkness, you've kind of been putting up these illusions of who you are and kind of putting on a different illusion to kind of make yourself feel safe, because who you really are doesn't feel safe. You weren't allowed to express yourself as a child. You weren't allowed to be your authentic self as a child. So as this like karmic cycle ends, as this like cycle over the summer into September ends, you're really clearing out a lot of that energy, and the light is now shining on what's been in the darkness for you guys for a really long time. So it feels really scary, it feels really vulnerable, and it's making you feel really insecure because you're feeling seen for the first time, whether or not that's the reality that other people see you. And you're also kind of feeling a little bit of a victim, I think, no offense. But I definitely got that card of kind of being in the victim energy, kind of feeling like it's other people's fault that you made the choices that you did, and that's okay. We all get into that energy, but I recommend getting out of it and taking more responsibility, which I do see happening actually. You're really starting to face the truth of the matter, the truth of how you feel, the truth of what you really want in life, and you're starting to face the truth of who you really are, and I think you guys are finding out it's not bad. I love Cancers. I'm sure it's fine, whoever you are. And most of the time, actually, whoever we're hiding is like way better than who we're pretending to be, because nobody can be better than you, at being you, rather. And everyone was born here with unique gifts and talents and personalities, and all of those things are come into the world because you have a unique purpose to serve, and you bring something unique to the world that other people don't, a different perspective. All those experiences you've been through, as hard as they were, they give you a different perspective that other people don't have in the world. And it's really exciting that it's coming out, because the world needs you to be who you really are. That is what the world needs. They need you to step up in your highest form. And what's happening now is all the illusions are being stripped away. And even though it might feel like you have nothing, I actually feel like that's not the case. I feel like there's a lot of abundance around you. I feel like there's a lot left. I feel like there's a lot of mistakes that can be corrected. I feel like there's a lot of things that you can still search for that are really waiting for you right now. That's what I keep getting. I also see you guys releasing a lot of repressed emotions, which kind of goes with the whole idea of not really knowing who you were. And I think a lot of that is almost like repressing a lot of emotions you didn't feel were right for the person that you were trying to be, if that makes sense. So the real you and who you really are and what you really want is coming out and saying, no, this is what I've wanted. You've been pushing me down for a long time, and now you're having to deal with all the fallout of all those emotions. So right now, there might be even anger coming out at yourself and others. I think this is also the victim feeling, like, well, I wouldn't have done this if you hadn't done this, or if other people hadn't done this to me, I wouldn't have done this. And that's okay. Get it out of your system, but don't park there, don't live there, okay? Because the more that you take responsibility, the more you take a strategy for how you want your life to look now, how you want to structure your life, now that you really understand who you are and what you want and what's going to be right for you and best for you, you are going to actually be on the right path to happiness and wholeness, which is super exciting. So try not to stress about it too much. Try to really get a lot of nurturing in yourself. Cancers are excellent nurturers, but they're not always good at nurturing themselves. So make sure that you nurture yourself a lot. It's time to really settle within yourself. Take some time alone, take some time in nature, take some time to really rest, go for walks outside, find that piece of inner stillness inside of you, because it's with you guys. No matter what we've been through in our lives, that soul that came into the baby that was born whenever you were born is still there. That peace, that wholeness, that innocence, all of the wounds and all the trauma is stuff that was piled on top of your essence. And that essence of peace and stillness and wholeness and perfection is still within you, underneath all of the mistakes that you may or may not have made. It's underneath all of the facades you've been putting on. And you're going to be so much happier now that all of this stuff is really coming to the surface. And one of these cards that I got, which I think is such a hopeful card, is recovery, meaning that even though you've been through a lot, you're now going through this time of true, sincere, deep healing. And the key in this picture represents the fact that you're almost like being given the keys to the kingdom. You're given the keys to everything you want, because now you're honest about what you want. And now you have the opportunity to go out and get it. And you have the opportunity to be honest enough with yourself and others to get the things that you want. And the key is representing as well that you now have the keys and the tools to handle what you might not have been able to handle before. And things aren't going to be as hard as for you in the future as they were in the past, because you have learned your lessons. You're starting to integrate them, and you're going to be able to really integrate them in a way that is going to allow you to not suffer as much anymore, because you know how to get through it. You know how to get to that peace inside. You know how to get to that sense of inner stillness. And you know how to get to a place where you're able to balance yourself. So even if things get hard again, and they will, because life always happens to us, you're going to know who you really are and be able to come back to that place instead of just stressing about it, and instead of feeling like it's something that you can't get out of, if that makes sense. So really take this time to nurture, go within, and allow yourself to kind of figure out who you are. Also, I keep getting the hate my body feeling too. Like, let that go. Your body is here to like experience the world and nothing else. I mean, yes, there's more to your body. I understand that we live in a physical world. I understand that we might want things, but like really think about what your motivations are for being so obsessed and hung up on your body. And I'm not saying I certainly have body issues too. I'm not pretending that I don't. But a lot of times we have different motivations for the insecurity that we have about our body than what is like even what we really want. So is that something that you're hanging on to, that's the part of yourself you wanted to project that was easier to like accept that societal programming? Or is it something that you sincerely want? Health is extremely important. Take good care of your body. Drink lots of water, exercise, eat healthy. All of those things are super important. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this hyper focus on feeling like you need to hate your body because you hate yourself. Or a lot of times there's such a lot of trauma stored in the body. If you went through some kind of trauma involving your body, like somebody hurt you physically, sexually, whatever, then we might have a hard time staying in our body too, or feeling like it's inadequate. So if that's the case, we get to therapy, please. That's something you don't really necessarily want to open up too much on your own. You want to make sure you're with a professional and have the kind of support that you need. But at the same time, really think about what it is that's your hang up about your body. Is it something that is yours, or it's something that you inherited from someone else, or somebody put that programming into you, maybe a parent, maybe kids on the playground, all of those kinds of things. Because your body is your temple. It's really just what you came here to experience the world, and there's nothing right or wrong about it. It's perfect in its own way too. You want to keep it healthy, you want to keep it running properly, but at the same time, we have these arbitrary standards about what our body is supposed to look like or be or do, and usually we're so much harder on ourselves than other people are in that regard. And then last thing I wanted to let you know is after you strip these illusions, you'll kind of start seeing the abundance that's around you and all the opportunities that you have that allow you to move forward in this sense of who you truly really are. I'm getting new beginnings. So I feel like you're really going to have a lot of new beginnings soon whenever you really start to work on letting go of this, coming into who you truly are, and allowing yourself to attract things into your life. One of the things I like to give my example of people who are like looking for their soulmate, for example. A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to find my soulmate, but I keep finding all these guys and like they don't treat me right, or they don't like see the real me. And it's like you're hiding the real you. This is what happens to so many people who aren't able to find somebody who's a good match for them. It's because your soulmate can't find you if you're pretending to be someone else on a date. So either they're really there in front of you, but they don't see you because you're not matching with them because you're hiding your true self, or you're attracting all of these people who think that you're a different person than you actually are. So you're attracting people who aren't really in alignment with who you are. And it might work in the beginning. You might get the dates, and you might get like even the shallow relationships, but whenever you don't get to the depth of the surface, if you're just an Instagram couple, like you're not really at the depth of what a true soulmate type relationship feels like, if that makes sense. And we have lots of soulmates, you know, I mean, twin flames are a little bit different, but we have lots of soulmates. It's not like there's one of them, but we have a lot of people in our soul family who know who we are energetically, and they want to find us, but they're not going to until we like project that out to them, if that makes sense. So that's just one example of how this can be, but the same can be with like friends. If you feel like you're isolated from friends, you don't make friends, your friends and your soul family can't find you if you're not being yourself and you're not projecting that energetically. So that's another message I keep getting for you. Sorry, my kitty's here. I don't know if you can see her or not. But she wants to share some messages with you guys too. I think we're pretty much complete. So really the shift right now that you guys are getting is to go ahead and to really focus on being true to yourselves, figuring out who you really are, figuring out exactly what you want, and allowing yourself to be energetically aligned with it so that it comes to you, allow it to flow to you. And in the meantime, take a lot of space and time to nurture yourself, be in the stillness of yourself, and really allow yourself to just kind of strip away all those illusions of the programming that you've been carrying around with you since childhood, because a lot of it is trauma informed, a lot of it is from people who are wrong, and a lot of it's not making you happy. So let it go. Okay? All right. Me and Izzy say bye. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you next month. All right. Bye-bye.